Welcome to the Haunted Hangover podcast. I'm Louie. And I'm joined by Manny.
Yes, you are.
Or is he a pod person? We'll find out by the end of the episode. He's showing way too much emotion.
Too much.
Too much emotion
Too
to
much.
be a pod person.
Be like, you know what? I'm not going to start that.
Don't start it.
I was going to go somewhere. Fucking
know,
Tay Diggs.
yes.
Fucking Tay Diggs over here.
I had a feeling it was going to end up someplace else.
Do some Tay Diggs. He's feeling.
He's feeling.
So are you angry motherfucker.
Yes. Which does happen in these series of films too sometimes. Slips through
They have
the cracks.
always, whenever there's a movie where it's about like no emotion or anything, anger seems to still come through no matter what. Anger and urgency, like you would think that the pod people who are chasing the people, like, why are you chasing them? You'd be like, well, there's a million of us. We'll get them eventually. Let them go. Somebody else will catch them. Like, no, instead we get whole hordes of like 50 people chasing someone down the street. Dude, that's an emotion.
Yes, you are upset and want to capture that person.
Yes.
So there is a reason.
You are afraid they will get away. You are angry that they got away. You feel a sense of urgency to capture them. But like, you got the whole city or the military base or wherever they are. The whole school, the whole building. You are them. What is the rush?
And
it's like the cops. It's like the cops set up a roadblock. We're going to get them eventually.
Yeah.
Just
put up a wall. They won't.
That's pretty much it. Like, they will get them eventually. Meg Tilly's scene. We'll get to that. She nails it.
Mm-hmm.
She nails it.
Mm-hmm. Don't want to spoil too much, but yes.
Nope.
It's that time of the year. We've done
spoilers.
this. We've done this during the holidays. Manny and I put together a Battle Royale episode. This was one he's been wanting to do for a while now. And we're not doing 2 films. We're not doing 3 films. We're insane. We're doing 4 films because we're crazy people and feel the need.
I said to you, one of these years we should do this. And you're like, yeah, let's do it next week. Great. I got a week to prepare 4 films. Thanks, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Listen, sometimes a good idea that's been in the making for 2 years just springs to life.
You did say, side note, you did say either The Fly or The Blob. And I said to myself, well, why don't we just do The Fly, Son of the Fly, and Fly 2? That's another 4.
Yeah.
Maybe we do that next year. We do the remakes plus the sequels.
That is a challenge. But yes, we do this every holiday season. We did all the Black Christmas films. We started with 3 when we started doing this. So we wanted to, Spinal Tap. Instead of 11, we're going to 4.
More tap.
Yes.
More tap.
More tap, yes. But yes, Invasion
so
of the
Bodies.
We'll do 5. We'll just do 10 one year. Just go.
Hellraiser in 2 hours.
Oh, no.
The entire, fuck it, Witchcraft. All 17 of them.
Oh, no.
That's it.
Those are, that's a whole different type of episode.
But you know what? They actually all have a connecting through line. There's only one of the 17 films.
Of those movies.
Well, I've seen 14 of them. I've seen 14 of them. There is a box set that I got to get. They're putting
3 of them are good.
Yes. Yeah. But there is one character, William Spanner, who is in every single film except for one. There's only one of them that he's not in. So it actually is a connected story through all of them. There's the same character. There's even a couple other characters that pop up. So who knows? Maybe one year we'll do 17.
Torture Louie and make me watch.
Maybe.
Make me watch all the Warlock movies.
I watched them voluntarily. I got 4 more to go. I'm gonna buy that box set of it's like numbers 10 through 17 because Troma owns the first 9.
Yeah.
So
that sounds like a challenge. I might have to torture myself.
It's a challenge. Trust me. They are tough to get through.
I've only ever seen, again, I think the first 2, and that's as far as I got. But yes, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That's what we're pitting them against each other in this episode.
Today.
There are 4 of them in this franchise. We've got the 1956 original. We've got the 1978 first remake. We've got the 1993 remake directed by Abel Ferrer, if I remember correctly. Then we've got the 2007 remake. Each one of these movies, different flavor. They do take liberties on the source material, the book written by Jack Finney. And they do change things up from film to film. No 2 films are alike in this like franchise of 4 movies. And I wouldn't even call it a franchise because technically each one of these films are standalone. They were made by different studios. It's not all the same.
For the most
part, yeah.
For the most part, I feel that they could all exist in the same universe. I feel that in some way you can thread the needle where they do all exist, where it is all the same invasion, just being told in different places. You know?
And looking slightly
specifically,
different.
especially 1 and 2. 1 and 2 for sure. I feel like they are definitely the same universe.
Yes, I would agree that
and
the first
3
2
is arguable that it's the same universe. When we get to it, I'll explain why and how I think it can work. But
now the plan for us is to kind of go through a couple of different sections here to pit these films against each other. So we're going to go through the plot, the best performances. So the best plot, the best performances, the best special effects, whatever the decade, because every decade's got different special effects, the best ending, the best score, the best direction and look cinematography, the best pod or depiction of said pod that creates these pod people. And then we're going to end it all by ranking the 4 films, our own personal ranking of the 4 films. Now, to move things along so we're not here for 10 hours, so we're going to break down the plot very loosely of each film because, again, this isn't an episode where Manny and I are doing an in-depth dive of each movie. We're going to talk about elements we like and dislike, etc., for each one, but we got to run through these bad boys. So at the top here, I'm going to give you a generalized kind of, they all follow the same structure for the most part. You've got your protagonist, male or female, because it does change from film to film. You've got pods, alien pods that land on Earth, possessing and taking over / controlling people in a town or city. The protagonist is trying to save a person they love and escape said town or city by blending into the emotionless groups of people. They try to fit in and, try not to show any kind of remorse or anything because then that's a dead giveaway that they're not a pod person. And 9 times out of 10, they fail and the pod people win. Not in every iteration, though. And we'll be getting into that as well. That's kind of, right, Manny? That's the basic formula for all 4 of these movies. So we'll start with the best plot. We're going to go through that. I have a little breakdown of each one, and Manny, you can add into my little breakdown of each film and how they differ from the other. And then we'll figure out what our preferred version is. So the plot or script, however technical you want to get with that. So 1956.
They come from another world, spawned in the light years of space, unleashed to take over the bodies and souls of the people of our planet, bringing a new dimension in terror to the giant super scope screen.
Definitely a product of the time.
Yep.
And this is just Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That is the title, because the titles do change too. I should say that here at the top before continuing. the first two have the same title. The last two change. So again, 1956, product of the time. The film is told through a flashback, which is unique to that one, sort of.
No.
And bookending the beginning and end of the film.
Yeah. The Abel Ferrara one is also a flashback. The whole movie's told in flashback.
Yes. That's the only other one that's...
They're the two that have... Yeah. That they're both told in flashback. Yes.
You get voiceover in one, and in this one you flat out see the protagonist in the beginning and what happened to him after the fact.
You do that in the Ferrara one as well.
You're right. I forgot about that little detail.
Yeah, they kept that. Yeah.
So in the 1956 original, you follow Dr. Miles, I believe it's Bennell?
I had a Bennell, yes.
Bennell, who is the town's physician, Santa Mira. Halloween 3 has got a lot to owe to this movie. The town is Santa Mira in California. The pods show up, start swapping bodies. For a good chunk of the 1956 film, Miles and his recently divorced high school sweetheart, I believe it's his high school sweetheart, Becky, are on the run, avoiding falling asleep in an attempt to escape the town and warn others of the impending doom of the pod people. That is literally what happens in the original film. Black and white, very 50s, solid stuff, in my opinion.
Starring Donald Sutherland, Brooke Adams, Leonard Nimoy. Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Now we're jumping forward to the 1978 remake or possible sequel, like Manny mentioned. Mm-hmm. This one expands on its predecessor, is a much bigger film than the previous 1956 version. Here we sort of have two lead protagonists and two supporting protagonists. We've got the health inspector, Matthew Bennell. So they're keeping the last name, which is a running... that last name pops up a couple times.
It's in three of them.
Yeah, it's in three of the films, which I do like that little Easter egg. And I think two of the characters later on do pop up. But
what's funny too, you say it's a bigger film, but both 56 and 78 were both $350,000 budgets.
Which is insane to think. And when I say bigger, I mean sort of grander.
No, of course. Yeah. Of course, yes.
In scope.
But they were both the same budget.
That's insane.
Which is insane considering essentially inflation in that, 15 years or so, like how much less money goes. Like it's not as big as then to now, but nonetheless, there definitely was some sort of inflation where that $350,000 budget in 78 would probably maybe be more like $450 possibly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's still same budget.
So yeah,
it doesn't feel like it at all.
Oh no,
it does not feel like it at all. This really feels like a $1 million movie. 100%.
I mean, dude, it takes place in a city, so it's like the city is being overrun. But yeah, health inspector Matthew Bennell, Donald Sutherland, and his colleague / fling love interest Elizabeth Driscoll, which I do know that comes back. That last name is also, I think that's Becky's last name in the original as well. I'm pretty sure that's her last name.
Let me see.
Because
the list.
I'm 99% sure.
Yep, Becky Driscoll.
Yeah. So they use again, like we said, the last names come back. His love interest Elizabeth, played by Brooke Adams. Plus, they expand on two characters from the original because they have friends in the original 1956, but they kind of take a step. They don't really do much, whereas in the 1978 remake, they do a lot more. You've got a married couple, Jack, played by Jeff Goldblum, and Nancy, Veronica Cartwright.
Yep.
So this follows the same beats, like I said, but this time takes place in San Francisco. Yep. So we've got buildings, skyscrapers, stuff like that when compared to the previous original film, which is like this tiny little small town. People are falling asleep. They're being swapped out. Their pod duplicates are running amok through the city. People are starting to notice strange behavior with their peers. What I've always loved about the 78 remake is there's sort of a lead antagonist with Dr. David Koebner, portrayed by Leonard Nimoy, Spock himself, who is the voice of the life form that's swapping everybody out. So in this film, the actual pods, the alien nature of it, kind of is controlling him and using him as like a Bond villain, basically, explaining their plan to everyone. We get more backstory, and why this organism is doing what it wants to do. It visits planets and it takes them over like a parasite, and it feels that making everyone emotionless is the way to go. That's kind of the plan it has. A very 70s film, very gritty. It almost feels like it was pulled out of Dirty Harry, like the way it looks, the film itself.
Okay.
It just kind of has that kind of, I think like Dirty Harry, and I forget where Dirty Harry takes place, but, kind of like a city. What if the pod people took over something like New York and San Francisco? Very large, which is insane because there's so many people in a city. So imagine everyone just getting possessed by this emotionless alien. That would be wild stuff. 93.
Body Snatchers. The invasion continues. They'd kill to be you.
Abel Ferrara directed. This one deviates a little bit from the previous films, making our lead protagonist a young, angsty teenager named Marty, which is a big departure from the first two. I mean, I even forgot. I was like, yeah, she's basically the main character, this young girl.
Gabriel Anwar, yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say Gabriel Anwar. We've got her family, which includes her father, Steve, Terry Kinney, her stepmother, Carol, Meg Tilly, which we mentioned in the opening, her younger brother, Andy. I did not write his name. I did not write the actor's name in my notes.
Riley Murphy.
There we go. And they all move to an army base because Steve, the dad, is an environmental protection guy, agent, and he's running tests on said base. It's like something to do with when war happens or a bomb goes off, he goes and tests all the hazardous shit and how it affects people. That's basically why they move there. Marty's annoyed because she's got a stepmother and a half brother, and dad forgets about me. Again, very angsty teenager. That's what she's played up like that in this movie for a good hour. I'd say until about the last 30 minutes where she kind of becomes the damsel in distress there, and we'll get into that when we get to the performance section. But yeah, we meet several supporting characters who reside at the base or in the town around the base. Marty befriends another young teenage girl, Christine Ellis from Child's Play 2 fame, and a soldier named Pete. Usual chaos ensues. Pod people start taking over. Marty, along with her family and new friends, try to escape the base without being possessed by the pods. That is the 1993 iteration of it, called Body Snatchers. They left the invasion aside.
You can fool them.
What?
Don't show emotion. Then they can't tell who's who.
Last but not least, the 2007 version, the last version, and I'm sure not the final one we'll see in history. I guarantee they're remaking this movie again one day. So this version, our main character is a psychiatrist, Carol Bennell. So they're keeping the name. That's what
Part 3 is the only one that doesn't have the connecting names.
Yeah.
Part 3, 93.
Yeah. Well, close enough. 93 Part 3.
93 Part 3.
The 93
it's the only
version.
one that doesn't have the same name.
The Bennell, yeah. Cara Bennell, Nicole Kidman. This is also probably the biggest budgeted version, I'd say.
Oh,
of all
I'm
of them.
sure.
Yeah, come in. You got Nicole Kidman as the lead.
I think this was around like maybe 10 million.
It 100% is. This is the Hollywood version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, like big time Hollywood, like studio Hollywood, even though I'm sure 78 was as well. So psychiatrist Cara Bonnell, Nicole Kidman, like I just said, who after a space shuttle crashes and an alien spore escapes, learns that people are starting to act strangely and differently. Carol's ex-husband just so happens to be the first person exposed to these spores, turning him into a pod person. Unfortunately for Carol, she's left her son with this possessed dad for the weekend. And now with the help of her friend and doctor, Ben Driscoll, so they kind of switched the genders there with the...
did that. That's what they did. Yes. The first two, it's a male lead, and then these two, it's a female lead.
But Dr. Ben Driscoll, he's just like an emergency room doctor. Daniel Craig.
Yep, I got the numbers. Sorry.
What is it?
I got the numbers. So the Abel Ferrara was a $13 million budget.
Okay.
This was $80 million.
God damn. So yeah, definitely the most expensive of all the Body Snatchers films. But yes.
Jesus.
Yeah. I mean... I got Nicole Kidman in the movie.
350, 1380. Good Lord.
What a
jump. This was a bomb too. This one bombed.
Bummer. But yes, with the help of her friend and doctor, Ben Driscoll, Daniel Craig, another big movie star, she has to try to save her son while the rest of the city, DC, like Manny mentioned, is slowly being taken over one person at a time. And she's got to fight falling asleep in the process. Now, there's a couple of little things I want to sprinkle here about the 07 version of Invasion. The Invasion. It's not called Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It's called The Invasion.
The Invasion.
That's it. They add that dogs notice the pod people in this. So they have like this whole kind of little side story where if you own a dog... or a dog, like a stray dog, sees a pod person, it starts to bark and growl to try to attack them. Mm-hmm. In this version, there is like an immunity angle where I think if you got the chicken pox at a certain point in your life,
EEP. It was some disease that people get when they're kids, some sickness. Yeah.
It has something to do with the chicken pox. I know that.
Yeah.
And if you got that, it prevents the virus, the pods, from taking over. This is the most scientific of all of them too, because they talk about white blood cells. All this like medical jargon is being thrown around a lot in this film.
It's Jeffrey Wright.
Oh
my God,
I didn't mention him. We're gonna get into the performances. But yeah, basically, it's more of a disease that not an actual pod. It's a disease that's taking over and controlling you. And because of that, there is also some hope with an antidote. But we're not at the endings yet, so I'm going to keep it moving. Also, two more things, actually, before I continue. A lot of subtext, which you just said, Manny, towards the end of the film. A lot of war talk, pandemic talk. So that's used to tell the story. And the last detail, it's set around the Halloween season. Can't forget, cannot. It's Haunted Hangover, guys.
I think it's like on Halloween because like the kids are going trick-or-treating.
It's like Halloween in November 1st. It's like the Halloween season, basically.
Yeah, like the beginning of the movie, the kids are actually out trick-or-treating. They're all running around the streets in costume and stuff. And the one kid gets attacked by the dog. That's when we first see that the kids are literally trick-or-treating, and they rings the bell, and the guy opens, and the dog goes nuts at one kid. And then, just go to the next house. He sends them away. And then as he's about to close the door, the dog gets out the door and attacks the kid in the middle of the street. Mm-hmm. It's really funny because part 3, I'm just going to keep saying that. Part 1, 2, 3, and 4.
I mean, whatever works.
In part 3, like, this series has no problem hurting kids, it seems, because we throw a kid out of a helicopter in part 3.
Well, I've got notes on that scene.
I know, but like effects. I'm sure you do. But like, wow.
Yeah, there's
we
no
threw a kid out of a helicopter. No problem killing a kid.
No one cares about the children in this series of films.
And seemingly, to dig a little into Chris here, the dog dies. They kill a dog in this one too.
There's some
kill a dog. There's
some dog death in this.
Chris
film.
is going to be triggered on this
one. But I did want to highlight the Halloween portion because that was a pleasant surprise, and it is a very good Halloween scene.
I forgot that too. I saw this one in theaters. I forgot that there was that Halloween.
It's a nice
section.
Pumpkins. It looks like authentic autumn. They did a good job setting it around Halloween, which also plays into them discovering the parasite pod because they think it's a Halloween prank. I think Daniel Craig even says, it's a Halloween gag or something. So it even plays into the plot. So technically, The Invasion, 2007, a Halloween film. It's a Halloween movie. Now,
Manny, a Halloween film.
I've talked a lot of these 4 versions, plot-wise, 56, 78, 93, 2007. Which one do you think, in your honest opinion, did it best? Which one had the best story, best script, best plot, told the pod people story, and I'm saying that a lot, the best?
I'm kind of torn between 78 and 93.
Ooh.
But
Gotta pick one.
Yeah, I think 78 was just smoother. Like they told it more coherently, and I will probably get into it later, but it's because of the production of 93. There was a lot of nonsense that went down in that movie. Yes. And in 07 as well. 07 was another disaster behind the scenes.
Yeah.
93 was we've discussed this before. I won't get into it just now. We'll get into it, I'm sure. I hope so anyway, but it adds just another layer of my vendetta against Warner Brothers and their production. Warner Brothers. We've talked about it before. I've mentioned it before.
If you want to reiterate, that's fine.
They don't know how to let directors be directors. They don't know how to take their hands off of it. We talked about this before, that how all the superhero film, DC, they have destroyed DC because they can't take their hands off of it. And that goes back to the Christopher Reeve Superman movies. This is the same thing. Every one of these movies, Warner Brothers gets themselves involved and screws it up somehow. They can't let it go. 93 and 07 are glaring examples of it.
Yeah. 07 feels like a studio was just like, you got to do this, you got to do that to make people go, to make people go see the movie.
It was.
You can tell in the script and in some of the scenes and,
Yeah, this one was originally was going to be made by Larry Cohen. 93.
He has writing credit, if I remember correctly.
93,
yeah.
he wrote and directed it. He was going to direct it. He wrote it. And then they took the script and they sent it, and Dennis Paoli and Stuart Gordon did rewrites.
It's a messy script, 93. Yes. I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, that's the first step. Yeah. And then Stuart Gordon came on to direct it. So him and Dennis Paoli, who've written plenty before together, Gordon was going to direct it. And then Warner Brothers sent the script to Stephen King for another rewrite. And Stephen King sent it back saying, I got nothing. This script is fine the way it is. I can't add anything to it. And Stuart Gordon was like, yes, they'll finally greenlight this and we can go. And nope, they sent it to yet another writer. And
yeah, I think I saw 4 names.
Yes.
I was like, God damn, 4 people had to write Body Snatchers?
Yeah, they sent it to another writer even after Stephen King said this is perfect. They sent it to another writer, and then it sat and did nothing for 18 months. Like, it just, they didn't put it out. They didn't do anything. They didn't go into production. And as a result of the delays, Stuart Gordon was already signed to direct another film, and he had to go do that. So he left the project, and then and then the other writer, and they got a new director, and he did his little bits of rewrites, and then that's when they brought in Abel Ferrara. Excuse me, I'm combining the two stories because they did that in 2007 as well, where they just kept sending new versions of the script. But anyway, Stuart Gordon was taken off because he was supposed to film something else, and then they got Abel Ferrara on. And he did his rewrite.
90, and I will pick my favorite in a second, but 93 feels like interference.
Oh yeah.
There's just points where I'm like, wait, what? Like, what? And even there is literally a scene in 93, and this is just the script, guys. This is not the performance, where the actors have two scenes back to back where they basically say the same thing. She's being a teenager and she's mad. You never listen to me, Dad. Then the next morning, they're at the breakfast table. You never listen to me, Dad. And I was like, did they not read their own? This is redundant as hell. Like, you can just tell there was
because they probably were shot
Yeah.
so far apart that
Yeah.
they didn't, you know, and then when they edited it together, it's like, well, we need the scene.
Yeah. And I don't hate 93. I do enjoy 93, but yes, it does feel a bit messy. But if I have to pick the most cohesive, best script and the best plot, and does the story of Invasion of the Body Snatchers justice, I agree with Manny.
Yeah.
1978. I think character-wise, Matthew, Elizabeth, Jack, and Nancy, the two couples basically, they're way more fleshed out. You've got actors that are very recognizable playing them. But even the dialogue, you feel like they care about each other and they're sort of playing off each other. There's a lot of scenes with them together. Even comparing it to 1956, Jack and Nancy, those characters are in 1956. The same characters are portrayed in the original film, but they're not as memorable as Jack and Nancy are in the 78. They feel like fleshed out, like a couple. You see what their job is with the massage parlor. You feel for them. They're hugging. They have scenes with Matthew and Elizabeth. So like Leonard Nimoy is thrown in there as kind of the antagonist, like the main antagonist, and Jack hates him. Jeff Goldblum does not like him. Early on, he's talking shit about him. So the characters just feel more human. And the
characters have a full life beyond the story.
Exactly. And I feel like it's just, and that's what I even said when I broke down the film, it just expands on its predecessor. So everything that the first 56, the original, didn't do in kind of fleshing some people out, 78 does it. And dare I say,
I feel like 93 did as well.
It tried.
That's why I say
I
feel like it did. Like they did have lives outside of this. Like it felt like they were brought into this. I feel like the original doesn't have it. They're just characters.
Well, it's a 50s film, so it's very surface level. Yeah.
And I feel like 07 is the same way too. I feel like a lot of the characters, minus Nicole Kidman and Forrest Whitaker, not Forrest Whitaker.
Wrong movie, buddy.
In Jeffrey Wright.
With
the exception of those two characters, I don't feel like anybody else. Like, what did they do before this? You know, as you're watching the movie, it's almost like in 07, I almost feel like the other people could have been pod people the entire time.
There's no,
that's because their whole purpose in the film is to further the invasion. They have nothing else that they did otherwise. There's nothing that, well, what did he do? Whatever her husband, the ex-husband did, you know, we've already started with him being part of this. So it's like they didn't exist otherwise. Nicole Kidman and Jeffrey Wright are the only two characters I feel. Even Daniel Craig, he does have a life outside of it. And I think they mentioned like he works with her somehow. Yeah. But with the exception of his role in trying to help Nicole Kidman, he does nothing in the movie.
He's just a handsome guy.
That's it. He's just a guy.
He's just her
a
love
guy
interest.
Who's running. Exactly. That's all he is. And you know what? It's kind of nice to see a big actor like that playing just a love interest.
Was this before or after James Bond? Was this before or after he played James Bond?
I don't know.
I'm not a James Bond. Chris was here. Chris would be able to tell us.
I have not seen a single one of his.
I think I've seen one of them.
No, I haven't seen any of them. That's not my thing. But
yeah, same here.
Daniel Craig is as much of the bland, just surface level love interest as the girl is in the first movie. She doesn't do anything. She does nothing. She is his love interest for the first half of the film with Kevin McCarthy. And then the second half of the film, he's just dragging her around as she's tripping in her heels and she can barely go up the stairs and across she does nothing. She's just there. But that is a product of 1950s filmmaking. That's
I do
just
have
what
something
they
to say.
That's fine.
I do
That's
have a
fine.
rebuttal on that.
Yeah.
But when we
Okay.
get to performances, which we'll
Yes.
you know what? We'll move to it now.
I'm not even talking about performances.
I know.
I'm talking the
Character,
characterization.
script,
She adds as much to the story as Daniel Craig does. And I liked seeing that.
Yeah.
Considering that we're talking 40-something years apart. That we had the bland women then. And you know what? Flip it on its head entirely. And let's give a nothing but love interest male lead with obviously a very popular, attractive, good, wonderful actor that Daniel Craig is.
He's great.
But,
yeah.
yes, but putting him in this role, it's like they didn't give him anything to do.
I mean, we're gonna get into the. I'll leave it for the performance. And you're right, the character.
I'm not talking
It's about
performances.
the character.
Yes.
I will
'Cause
admit,
even that he's good. He's still good.
I will admit.
Wow.
In my opinion, Becky. In the 1956 original, Becky's the love
girlfriend,
interest,
okay.
the girlfriend, and his love in his
I just can't keep the name straight in my head. I got to do
Becky,
that.
his divorced high school sweetheart.
Yes.
Miles' girlfriend in the original 1956 film. She does help him. She's not completely useless. There is a scene.
Well, Daniel Craig helps too. He drives the car a few times
to defend both of them. To defend both.
Yes.
Becky does help him when he fills the syringe to knock those guys out. She does jab one of them with this. She does try to help and fight back.
Daniel Craig takes a bullet.
He does take a bullet by his love interest too.
Yes.
Now, to defend the Daniel Craig character, plot wise, script wise, there is a scene, and I promise you guys, we're going to move on to the performances next. There is a scene where they're in the car. They went on like she was Nicole Kidman, Carol. She was his date to like this event, and they make out in the car, and she tells him, you're just my really good friend. I don't see you like that. And he's like, oh, sorry. He's being all charming and handsome. He's like, oh, sorry, taking advantage of a drunk woman. And like he says something along those lines. So there is a little bit of an established relationship that she's his really good friend, but he obviously has a little thing for her. Yeah. She's recently divorced, etc. So I give the 07 and 56 a little bit of credit trying to, even though these are just pretty faces, have them do something. They don't do a lot, but they give them something more than some other films in the 50s and even more contemporary films in the last 25, 30 years. So
I watched the original The Thing really.
It's the same
recently.
Thing. Yeah.
And it's the same thing. It's like it's almost like James Cameron watched the original Thing. And said, let's do that. Let's just change that. Because the original Thing, if they had listened to the woman, they would have been fine.
Oh, you mean John Carpenter? You said James Cameron.
No. James Cameron in Alien. He did
Alien,
that.
Sorry,
because John Carpenter took the woman out entirely.
Yes.
But James Cameron saw that and said, excuse me, not James Cameron, Alien, the first Alien.
Ridley Scott.
It's almost like he saw the original Thing and said, that's what we're going to do. We're going to have the woman be right completely, and then in the end, she's going to save herself as a result of it. In the original Thing, that's it. If they had just not opened the fucking door like they did in Alien, if they just didn't open the door like she told them, they'd be just fine. Just don't open the door.
Just don't open the door, guys.
That's all they are. They're two movies where just listen to the woman. She knows what she's talking about.
So, best plot and script for Invasion of the Body Snatchers is going to the 78 film, in our opinion. We both agree on this one. So I'm sure that trend will not continue as we go down the list.
I love Becky. Tomorrow, will I feel the same?
There's no need for love.
No emotion. Then you have no feelings. Only the instinct to survive. You can't love or be loved, am I right?
All right. Best cast, performance, doesn't matter the sex. Just best performances in the film. I have a little list. If you want to add to this for each film, what you liked, this is what it is. So in 56, we mentioned Kevin McCarthy as Miles Bennell, and then Dana Winter as Becky Driscoll. I really like Kevin McCarthy's performance as Miles. He's sort of like this old school, charismatic, tough guy. And he really wants to have sex with Becky the entire film. He really wants to bang her.
That's kind of what Kevin McCarthy did at the time. He even had that one episode of Twilight Zone where he was he was immortal.
Yes, that's a great episode.
And that's his whole story. That's how the guy finds out who he is, because he's dating this woman, and the father turns out he recognized him from the school like years ago, and then he looks in a book and he's in like ancient, they see a picture of or something, like a painting of him, some like ancient Rome or some, and the guy realizes this is not possible. But all he's trying to do is sleep with the daughter.
Listen,
and this guy comes and screws it all up and reveals his secret.
I always like Kevin. I think he's an underrated kind of leading man type guy. And even as he got older, stuff like Inner Space and the Twilight Zone movie. UHF. Like, he's just a likable, he is a very charismatic actor. The fact that in his early years, he was able to play like the charming, handsome dude that's like the leading man who's going to save the day. And then he went on to play like a slime ball.
That hero's jawline,
And then the jet black hair gelled, and like he was a really
every time eyebrow.
Every time I watch him in this, or even later stuff when he's like a bad guy, he's always great. Just a very likable actor.
He's a great actor.
But to focus on this, yes, his entire drive in this film is to bang and be in love with Becky.
Pretty much.
And it even and I give the 56 original credit, it does play into the overall plot, because they do have that scene where they're looking at each other and they're telling each other they love each other, because they know if they become pod people, that love will dwindle. It won't be a thing anymore because they can't show emotion. So I do really like that scene, and I think that performance, specifically closing it down to that when they're both like touching each other and they hide under the floorboards when the pod people are trying to chase them, because they're getting chased the whole movie basically. They're literally just running the whole film from the pod.
The original,
people.
That's it. It's like that's what I said. It's just it ends up him dragging her around for the second half of the film.
But he is great. I really do like him a lot in the film. Dana Winter, we kind of hinted at it. Damsel in distress. She does, again, like I said, she does have a few moments where she's fighting alongside Miles. Specifically that scene I just talked about when she has to help him with the anesthesia. A little, listen, for a film made in 1956, she's a little tough and independent in the film. Like, she's divorced. She doesn't give a shit about her ex-husband, and she really wants to be with Kevin McCarthy. So like, I've seen other movies, like I've been covering the, Universal Monster movies here at Haunted Hangover. A lot of those women, that was even earlier, the 30s, did less. So it was nice to see in the late 50s, at least the women were doing a little bit more, 25 to 30 years earlier. There's
a portion of the film,
maybe
15 minutes straight, she does not say a word.
Nothing.
She says, we go through at least 3 scenes in a row. She doesn't say a word. She adds nothing. She doesn't gasp. She doesn't make a sound. She's just running alongside him, and that's it. And it's like, yes, we hit that point. And it's the same thing that happens in The Thing. Once in the original Thing.
The Thing from Another World.
Yes. Once we get to, there's a certain point where she just becomes the woman holding a clipboard. For 20 minutes, she does nothing. She just stands there. She has no lines. She's just in the room. And that's what this character ends up becoming. And then we get to, she turns too. That's what it does. She could have been a pod person 15 minutes before prior. She actually became, because she hadn't done anything. It's possible. It is possible.
Listen.
I'm saying it is possible that they were at a point where they were trying to make you question it. But if you're watching the scenes, it's really not. Because you don't think she's acting differently. No, she just becomes quiet. They just don't have any lines for her. But if you look on the lens back and look at it now, it's like she could have been a pod person earlier, like Stacey Nelkin in Halloween 3.
Yeah.
At what point did she become the robot?
Was she a robot the whole time?
Yes. and you could make an argument that that's what they were doing. But if you're watching the film for the first time, there is no point where you get that impression that they're trying to blur the line.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I agree with parts of what you said and parts that don't. Dana Winter, beautiful woman. If I'm being honest, keeping it 100. She was a very beautiful woman in the film. And she's I didn't think for what she was to just be like this pretty woman. And she was being carried around a lot. Yeah. But to transition over to 78.
The amount of times she tripped and fell and he had to pick her up and keep going. Oh my God.
But
Jesus, woman.
But the transition, that's all I have, because really in the original 1956 version, they are the two standouts of that film, and that's basically it.
Well, they're the whole film.
They're the whole movie.
They're the whole film. Once things start changing, it's just the two of them, But I even had it in my review. In my review of it is what it makes me wonder what was going through the minds of the actresses in these movies in the 50s, that they put them in these roles where they would hit a point in the movie and that's it. They do nothing, but they're just running through. I understand it's a different time. And but those are my qualms with the film. I think if you had the same cast, the same director, the same everything, but you did it now, you would change, you'd add more to it, and it would blow them all away.
Okay.
As far as that plot and the characterization, I think it could if you had that.
What is that?
A caper.
No.
Do you presume to tell us what is in this stock?
It's a rat turd.
A what?
A rat turd.
A caper.
A rat turd.
A caper.
If it's a caper, eat it.
Dana Winter is going to come back up in a second, so
okay.
we will continue that. So moving on to 1978, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, we've got Donald Sutherland, the great Donald Sutherland, as the mustache-wearing, turd-loving.
Mustachioed.
Turd-loving as well.
Yeah,
he loves that rat turd.
That rat turd. He puts it in a jar.
Yes. What an interesting quirk to give this guy. He is all the first 10 minutes of the movie. He loves that rat turd.
Rat turd.
He loves.
You know what this is? Eat it. You had it? Eat it. If it's a caper, eat it. Then he shows. You know what that is?
Rat turd.
And he's so excited. We're gonna nail him.
He loves turds, man. But yes, Donald Sutherland, health inspector in this film. So the lead male protagonist is a health inspector now, not a doctor. Matthew Bonnell. So there goes the last name. He's great. It's Donald Sutherland. Extremely
untouchable.
Listen, extremely charismatic, extremely just kind of eccentric, and such a, again, we joke about the turd. He makes that stupid scene when he's in the restaurant as doing his job. He's talking about a fucking turd, and it's just like such a great scene. He's just so good, Donald Sutherland, in this. He gives off like everyday man vibes, so he just feels like a real dude. His car, for some reason,
they break the window, and he just drives around the rest of the movie with a broken window.
He's just the whole movie.
It was it's the kitchen staff that breaks his window.
Yes.
After he goes in, he goes out, there's a whole bunch of stuff thrown in his car. It's the kitchen staff of the restaurant that he found the rat turd in the soup. That's the worst. It's in the soup already. It's not like he found it he pulled it out of the soup. First off, how did you see it? How did you see that in this roiling, boiling soup? And then number two,
it's Donald Sutherland.
That's it. They got to throw that whole soup out. It's not even like, we scoop it out and get it. No, that's it. This entire soup in the trash. And this was a giant pot of soup.
Yes, it was.
This was one of those 20-gallon soup pots Man, that's it. Nobody's ordering soup for the next half hour.
But to go back to, which plays into the soup, to go back, yes, his windshield is cracked. The entire, not just cracked, destroyed.
Bro, there's a hole in it and splintered across and everything.
The whole film, he's just driving his car like that with her in it.
It's the type of thing where if you drove around with that car today, you'd get pulled over every 2 blocks. Another cop, like, what are you doing? Come on.
He is so, and like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, every little nuance with his character, the range he has where you can go from quirky to emotional, sympathetic, excellent. He's great. Like, it's Donald Sutherland.
He trained the vampire slayer. Come on.
Yes, come on, guys. Moving on, we've got Brooke Adams as Elizabeth. In my opinion, also a damsel in distress.
Great.
She's great, but also a damsel in distress, in my opinion. She's in a crappy relationship. She's kind of going along for the ride. She's just involved with this dude. In my opinion, she does not do a lot of fighting back in the film.
No.
And Matthew is carrying her around a lot.
Yes, he is.
As well. Yeah. Similar to, this is where I said Dana Winter's going to come back. Mm-hmm. I feel like Brooke Adams as Elizabeth, just a smidge more to do. They gave her a little bit more to do. But
they gave her more with the ex-husband too.
Yes.
And they gave her more with a lot of that. It does make me wonder, as you said, we didn't read the book. Is she characterized that way in the book too? Considering they're both, these are probably the two that were intentionally supposed to be, adapting the book. The other two were kind of not, but these two are supposed to be direct. Well, the other two, both of them, that's why they have different names, because they were both, when the scripts were written, both movies, the production companies felt that they were different enough that they weren't body snatcher movies anymore. And that's why the names ended up changing. But then through time, when the directors come in, they all loved the film, so they wanted to keep the body snatchers thing into it. So that could be the
source material requires the character.
It's quite possible. Yes, that's possible.
I think Elizabeth and Becky as characters, basically the same thing.
Essentially.
Just Elizabeth is a little more fleshed out. She really doesn't fight back much.
But she does have a life around this.
She's a better written character.
Yes.
But for the most part, Donald Sutherland literally carries her, I don't know how many times. Half the movie,
he picks her up.
Yes. Literally. Yes. Like half the film,
literally
he's carrying her.
Yes.
Moving on. Here we go. Come on, guys. Jeff Goldblum is Jack. Like
one of my favorite actors of all time.
What are you expecting? He's Jeff angry, Goldblum, extremely
young, tall,
animated,
skinny, lanky. He says that he's 6'4".
Well, he's a big guy. He's tall.
I knew he was tall, but I didn't. 6'4".
He's just really skinny. Yeah, but angry, very animated. He's got several moments to shine with this performance. He like, it's a character like you would expect Jeff Goldblum to play this early in his career too. So keep that in mind. He hasn't become the Jeff Goldblum we know and love, but it's there.
He hasn't even done like the fucking Earth Girls Are Easy type stuff.
The Fly, none of that has been
even near. That. Like he still had silly shit ahead of him.
We covered The Sentinel, I don't know, 2 years ago, which that was around this time where he was, getting some bigger roles in films. This might even be one of his, I think, earliest supporting roles where he's in a good chunk of this movie. I would consider him a real supporting character because he's part of the main group.
This was his first. No, I mean the Sentinel was before this. But
but he's like a really supporting minor role in that movie. He's only got a handful of scenes. In this, he's like, there's meat on the bone. He's got scenes that don't involve Donald Sutherland in them and stuff. So there's more to work with. And it's Jeff Goldblum being Jeff Goldblum, but he's like 27 in this movie. So it's great. To move forward, we got Veronica Cartwright as Nancy.
Amazing actress.
Another amazing. Listen, I will say this about Veronica Cartwright. She does pop up later, again in another version of the movies. Another version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. But Veronica Cartwright as Nancy, a hell of a crier, man. This woman Anytime she's in a movie and she needs to cry, snot,
That's
tears.
it.
She is the most fear. She just looks like she's in fear.
It comes from the cockles. Comes from the depths inside her.
Listen, Veronica Cartwright, if you needed, like in the 70s, 80s, even probably today, if you need someone to cry and just feel bad for them because they're harmless.
It's her eyes. It's the eyes.
Yeah.
She's
Veronica
got
Cartwright.
her eyes.
She is in peril this entire movie, and she does a great job. Last but not least, Leonard Nimoy as Dr. David Kebner plays a great doctor with a sinister edge. He sounds like Spock, basically, in this movie, betraying the group at the end. You could see it. If you've never seen this movie, you know he's going to become a bad guy when you watch it. It's Leonard Nimoy with his big sideburns and his turtleneck and, you know, him talking all the, he's like a pompous doctor. And like I mentioned before, Jeff Goldblum as Jack hates him. Like our introduction to David, to Leonard Nimoy, is Jeff Goldblum throwing his book down and annoyed that it's like his sixth book. He's like, this guy sucks. I hate him.
And then we have a moment that is just encapsulates how Jeff Goldblum performs. There's that moment in the party, and Donald Sutherland is on the phone, and he's trying to call, I forget, it fell out of my head. But he's on the phone. He's trying to get a hold of somebody. Like, oh, this thing is happening, whatever. Let me get an opinion. And Jeff Goldblum is just talking at him, and he is rambling. Like, if he ever did this, if he wrote about, I didn't do this. He's writing. Can you believe that? And he's just talking and talking. And Donald Sutherland is literally on the phone. He's like, what do you think? And I just wanted Sutherland to look at him and go, I'm on the fucking phone. I'm doing something here. Jesus Christ. Jeff Goldblum is zero interested in what just happened at the party and who he's called. He has and that is a Jeff Goldblum thing, that no matter what has happened, he is so laser focused on his thoughts. He's going to talk over everybody. No one is listening. No one's listening to him, but he's going to keep going. He does it in The Fly. He does it in Jurassic Park.
He's great, dude.
He's great. I love that.
Independence Day, he does it?
Yes, he does it all the time. He just keeps talking, and people just start to ignore him.
Yeah.
And I love it because you're interested in what it is he has to say, but you can't hear him because it's not the focus. But whatever it is, man, is he invested. He has brought it. I love actors that do that make that, like, this is something that everybody knows someone like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
For sure.
Everyone knows some of that. People think I'm that person. It just keeps, when no one's listening. But nonetheless, everyone knows someone. It's a very realistic thing for someone to be so focused on themselves and their own moment that they don't realize literally everything's falling apart around them.
It's funny because you're watching this movie, and again, very early in Jeff Goldblum's career, but you watch this and then you see where he's gone today. I mean, he's in all these like Wicked movies now, still playing eccentric characters,
doing
and it's like
commercials now.
Yeah,
too.
exactly. Like you see him here in his like late 20s. He's a really young guy, and he's still. That is still there, even this early into his career.
This was when he found it. Like, he found that became his thing.
Then The Fly came, and it was just like, that's it. That is that is him now in everything he's in. Yep. Yes, it's always great. Seeing Jeff Goldblum in anything will make Jeff Goldblum being in a movie, whatever it is. I've always said this, will make the movie tolerable. Even the worst films in the world. Independence Day 2 sucks, but Jeff Goldblum is great in it.
I love 9 Months, and he's a big part of the reason why I love that movie so much.
Without him, that movie would not be a good movie, probably.
It wouldn't be as good. I think it would still be kind of good because you still have... Hugh Grant is a good actor.
Oh, no, I like Hugh Grant.
He's a good actor. And, oh, damn. What's her name? Fell out of my head, too. She played Clarice in Red Dragon.
Oh, Julianne Moore.
Julianne Moore.
Is it Julianne Moore?
Julianne Moore. She's a phenomenal actress
she's great
as well. So having these like heavy hitters as far as performance wise, playing this like kind of silly like pregnancy movie, nailed it. And Jeff Goldblum brings his rant on kids.
Yeah.
That's like philosophy of my life.
And it's funny you said that, because I think 1978 Invasion of the Body Snatchers is a prime example of that. Look at these 5 actors I just mentioned. It's like 5 extremely strong actors.
Extremely.
Hence why it's a great movie, just because of that.
And since we're talking about performances and actors, Kevin McCarthy.
Yes.
Kevin McCarthy shows up.
He does.
And this is where I say that this is my first connection as to why they may be the same universe, because the first Invasion of the Body Snatchers more or less ends with Kevin McCarthy running through the streets. You're running at cars. They're coming. They're here. And he's doing it. And then this movie goes to that. And it's almost like he's still running.
Yep.
Like he ran from Santa Mira to San Francisco. And they just took over Santa Mira, and now they're coming to San Francisco. They're spreading. And he's been running from them the whole time. It
is a good little cameo.
Yeah.
Then he gets whacked by a bus or a car or something, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, he gets hit by a car, and then he's surrounded by people who just seem completely unaffected.
Emotionless.
And I had another note for it. Yeah. So McCarthy screams up.
Robert Duvall is in it for 2 seconds.
For random. He has not. It's not a deleted scene. It's not like you think that. Like, is he? No, he's not. It's just he's even uncredited. He must have been like friends would say he was there, and he's like, "Fuck it, I'll throw on a priest costume and sit on this swing for no reason."
And it's like clear as day, Robert Duvall. It's not even like he was a little hidden. It's Robert Duvall looking at the camera. In a swing.
Clearly like, hi there. Hi there.
It's like 1978. So Robert Duvall is like up here. He is like a very well-known, like Godfather was several years prior to this.
This is the man.
Like, what a bizarre cameo. It reminds me of the cameo in The Sentinel. Richard Dreyfuss. Richard Dreyfuss pops up in The Sentinel. Go listen to our episode covering that movie if you haven't. And he is in the background for no reason. Again,
just there.
Huge movie star in the late 70s. They were such big deals, Robert Duvall and Richard Dreyfuss. They could just
walk
unpaid,
on set,
uncredited. I just feel like being an extra today.
That's how John Carpenter did all the body bags.
Yes.
He's like, they shot it in the studio. Who's shooting down there? Oh, all right, we're shooting over here. Come on over for the day. And that's,
so good. I've been one of those guys, and I know this is a tangent. Don't worry. We're going to continue, guys. I love big actors. And even though these are like little tiny nothing roles, but I just like big actors and this is a good segue for the next group of actors and performances. I love big actors in small roles that make an impact. That's always been something where if I had $1 million and I could make a dream movie, if I could cast any actor for a day or two, it'd be a big actor, specific actors I like for one role that makes an impact. I say, who's good at that? A more contemporary director, a guy that's still around. Tarantino's good at that.
Oh, he's
grabbing a huge actor that everyone knows, giving them like 1-2 scenes, but you will remember those scenes.
Eli Roth is forever going to be the Bear Jew.
There you go.
Forever.
I mean, Christopher Walken is in one scene of Pulp Fiction. Great scene.
That fucking watch.
Up his ass.
He's got a watch up his ass.
And you will remember that scene. It's Christopher Walken, huge actor, one scene.
Yep.
So there you go. And speaking of that, let's move on to the performances in 1993 Body Snatchers.
Where are you going to go? Where are you going to run? Where are you going to hide? Nowhere. Because there's no one like you left.
Gabrielle Anwar.
Gabrielle Anwar.
Gabrielle Anwar as Marty. I really only wrote her in my notes because she's the lead. And in my opinion, just my opinion, she's okay. It's I think it's a sort of stereotypical angry teen who no one understands, a little surface level. She's not, in my opinion, the most memorable part of the 1993 Body Snatchers. It's serviceable, but not my favorite part.
You said you forgot that she was the lead.
Yes. So, like, it's just not, for me, the character of Marty is cool, but as a main character, it's different because they went with a teenager, but she was, I even watching it recently for the show, I was like, this girl's really kind of like whatever. Like, for me. What did you think of Marty?
I mean, I liked her. I think that she was more of a stand-in for the audience than anything else.
Yeah.
You know, she's more just, she's telling the story, you know, and that's it. So it's more, if you were to try and be deep about it, she's just telling the story. So a storyteller can do one of two things. Either everything is first person and they're telling it all how they felt and how they went through it, or they're just telling the events that happened. And that's kind of what her story is. She's just telling what happened, you know, because she's just happy to have survived.
I'll be honest, and I'll say this here. She is my least favorite main character of all 4 movies. Just for me. I think she is.
I can see that.
She's my least. She's the least charismatic to me. She doesn't really. Again, it's serviceable. She doesn't really. Yeah. She doesn't. It doesn't offer much, in my opinion. So,
and because I know where you're going with it next, because clearly, when you think of it now that I've said it, that like the different ways that a character tells a story is that it's just her perspective, which then means that every character is told from how she views them. And that shows why Meg Tilly's character is so like evil.
Yes.
And that might be why, because she didn't like her to begin with. So looking at it from the narrative style, if she was to tell how her stepmother that she hated in the first place became a pod person, it would be the most, like, in her head, this is the most evil thing she's ever seen in her life, because this is a person she already didn't like and now they've gotten worse. And it's like, and from a narrative style standpoint, that could be the reason why Meg Tilly's character becomes what she is, because her character, that's her perspective of what happened.
Yeah. On that note,
it adds a little depth to that,
Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely get what you're saying. But on that note, the 93 Body Snatchers, prime example of an extremely strong supporting cast.
Yes.
Prime example.
Oh, man.
You just mentioned Meg Tilly as Carol. That scene where she's explaining to the dad too, to me, very cookie cutter, doesn't really, scientist man. Yeah. Doesn't really do much for me. Meg Tilly, that scene where she's talking to the family, the dad, and she's the dad specifically, I think in that scene.
Yes.
She goes, "Where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna?" That scene where she is drony, creepy, pointing at him. Where are you gonna go? We're gonna catch you. Emotionless.
We're everywhere. And
we're everywhere. That's such a great scene.
That's what I was saying earlier.
It's giving me chills just thinking about it.
Oh, it's amazing. It's absolutely incredible. And that's why I said, like, that's the thing. That's the flaw in all of the films, is that she's the only one of all the body snatchers that we've seen that is truly emotionless. That she is like, you're hopeless. Just stop. Just give up. You can't do it. I would think that Leonard Nimoy is close.
He's a little robotic. Is kind of what they were going for.
But he's kind of good at robotic to begin with. I mean, come on, he's Spock, exactly. He's kind of good at that to begin with.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, how much of that was the character and how much of that was just Leonard Nimoy being Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, yeah, and I don't mean that in a bad way.
No,
that's just like we said. Jeff Goldblum does a specific thing. Leonard Nimoy does a specific thing. Meg Tilly is not one of those actors where you look at her and say, oh, Meg Tilly does this. Jennifer Tilly does this.
Yes.
But Meg Tilly is a much more rounded
She's
actor.
underrated. She's an underrated actress,
She's
Meg Tilly.
extremely underrated.
Yeah.
You know, but she's done a variety of characters. She never got kind of put in a place where she's going to do this and only that. Her films kind of span, you know, but yeah.
I'm trying to think. She's in that one movie Masquerade that's really good with Rob Lowe. That's a great
Psycho
movie.
2.
Psycho 2.
Psycho 2.
One Dark Night. Meg Tilly's in that.
Anti-Birth with
Anti-Birth, yeah.
You know, like that's
she's
why I
great.
say
Underrated.
she was never. One Dark Night is great too.
Well, yeah, she's the lead in that.
You know,
yeah.
But she was never pigeonholed because she's a more rounded actress. Again, than even Jennifer Tilly. She's more rounded than that, which is kind of crazy, you know, considering that Jennifer Tilly is huge. Most people don't even remember Meg Tilly at this point. And it's unfortunate. So unfortunate.
She is, and in this movie, and the role is not a big role. She's in maybe like 15 minutes of the film
But
altogether.
it's what you said.
Yeah.
It makes an impact.
Exactly.
It turns the head of the whole movie.
Dude, that scene, like the way her fingers are sort of like pointed weird, and she's like, where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? Like, it's just a great, again, best scene
It's
of
terrifying,
the whole,
too.
The
Terrifying.
entire movie, 93 Body Snatchers, that is the Meg Tilly warning scene, I'm going to call it. Best scene. And speaking of limited screen time, our boy, Forrest Whitaker, he is in 2 scenes of this entire movie.
Is it only 2?
I think it's only 2, maybe 3. He introduces himself to the father, and then when the dad comes across him in the army base. But during those 2 scenes, it's Forrest Whitaker being Forrest Whitaker. Yeah. Dude, the scene where he's got the gun, because he offs himself in the movie, but the scene where he's talking to the dad, he's getting so this dude has tears, and another great crier, another guy that is giving it his all in the 93 Body Snatchers film. And then the scene where Ari Ermi, another actor.
Yeah, he's another one that has those very emotional eyes.
I will admit,
you know?
Arlie Ermi, underrated in this movie, though. I'm not underrated. But he's not used a lot in this.
No, underutilized.
Underutilized. Sorry, that's the word.
Yes, underutilized.
But
yes, but he's someone also. He has a. This
Yes.
is what he does.
Yes,
you know.
But Forrest Whitaker, he's like a doctor. He's like a soldier that's a doctor, I believe, if I remember correctly. He's supposed to be working with the dad. But that scene where Arlie Ermi is confronts him and they're telling him what's going to happen. Dude, you would think this dude's trying to win an Oscar. Like,
he might have been.
He forgot what movie he was in.
You know what? I'm here. I got a scene. I got Abel Ferrara behind the camera. Let's do this.
I'm in 2 scenes in this whole 90-minute movie.
Arlie Ermi is staring me down. This is my moment.
Dude, in 93 Body Snatchers, Meg Tilly, Forrest Whitaker are the best performances, and they both have a total runtime of. They're both in the movie for a few scenes, but they're so good. Hence why they're in the opening credits and on the poster, because they are so great in this movie. Like the emotion and emotionless scenes, like the polar op. That must have been the idea. Meg Tilly, no emotion. Forrest Whitaker is the most human. He is in fear. And he's going to off himself before they can take him over. Before they take his soul, he even says. It is a great scene. Once again, it doesn't even belong in this goddamn movie, but it's such, it doesn't even feel like both the scenes are like, wow, you guys brought your A game for this one.
Suddenly this turned it up.
Like wild. It's the 2 most memorable scenes, in my opinion.
I would say my other one to add another to that is Christine Elise.
Yeah, she's good too.
I loved the so when the 2 of them realize, okay, we can fool them, they pass her, and they all and she says to her, your brother's looking for you, and they keep moving, and then Gabrielle Anwar, she turns for a moment and she says, where is he? And it was a trick. Like she was testing her, and the look that she turns. What is her character's name? Jen Platt. And Jen turns to her and looks and does the scream. The Body Snatchers scream is
which is only in 2 of them.
Yeah,
it's only in 78 and
and
93.
And it's awesome. And it's incredible.
Great.
Like that scream is one of the most frightening like sound effects, I think, in horror films.
Oh no, it's unnerving for sure.
Like really is like, it's so perfect. They wanted to use the 1978 scream, like actually take the sound effect and use it in this movie, but they just didn't. And they wanted to do it in 2007 as well, and they didn't. They created a new one for this. It is a new scream.
It's similar though.
But each one of them has a little bit of a different scream. Like they actually added the actor's voice, like Meg Tilly screams and you can hear her voice inside it. When she screams, you can hear her voice inside of it, So they did that. I think that's really why, but that in general, that turn and then the drop of the jaw and then just this sound that comes from them it's absolutely freaking terrifying. I love it, man. I remember the first time I saw the Donald Sutherland one.
Oh, dude. Chilling. What a chilling ending. We're going to get to the endings.
yes. But that nonetheless, sound, that was Leatherface with the hammer in the door moment. Like the way my heart jumped when I heard that sound. And the Meg Tilly and Christina Elise's both screams did the same thing to me when I first saw this.
Yeah, I agree. That she is good. She kind of disappears.
Yes, well, she's kind of unnecessary to some point.
Character. She's just the friend, the other angsty teen that Marty hangs out with.
Because there's also that moment right there too. In that moment, you wonder whether she's one of them or she's.
No, that's a great scene that you just mentioned. So
they really did it well. That's why, like, having her disappear for long enough was just enough to make you wonder: did she turn, or has she been hiding like the rest of them?
Is everything all right, Mr. Lank?
Everything's fine. Better than it's been in a long time. Wendy's fine now. I'll give her the message you called and she'll tell you herself.
Mr. Lank?
Yes?
If I don't hear from your wife soon, I will be calling back. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Last but not least, cast performances, 2007. Nicole Kidman as Carol Burnell. Come on, it's Nicole Kidman.
You got the Burnell name back.
We got the Burnell name back. Listen. We've talked about Nicole Kidman when we covered Eyes Wide Shut. Like, there's not much to say that hasn't already been said about Nicole Kidman. Literally, in my notes for the 2007 The Invasion, I wrote Nicole Kidman as Carol Burnell. Come on.
She's phenomenal.
It's Nicole Kidman.
Let's go through them because I have something.
Yes.
My notes on this movie are specifically about the performances.
Okay.
So we'll go through the actors and then
I wrote Nicole Kidman. Come on, it's Nicole Kidman. Daniel Craig as Ben Driscoll. Again, we kind of talked about him during the plot. It's not a really meaty role for him to sink his teeth into. He's the equivalent of the helpless female characters in the previous iterations. He tried to help her escape. He becomes one of the pod people, and then that's it. That's his role. We talked about it. That's literally what he does. Jeffrey Wright as Dr. Stephen Galliano. I can't pronounce that.
Galliano. An Italian
He's
name.
playing the smart doctor friend who's on the hunt for an antidote.
Yeah.
He is saying a lot of medical terms and stuff throughout the film. I know you think he stood out more. In my opinion, Jeffrey Wright was just a doctor.
You know what it is? I love Jeffrey Wright.
No, so do I.
I love him as an actor, so maybe he just stands out to me.
Because it's Jeffrey Wright.
Yes, because I love him I think he's phenomenal.
He's
another very underrated actor. He's great in everything he does, but I just don't think he gets the accolades he should.
Listen, man, that's Peoples Hernandez from the Shaft remake with Sam Jackson. I don't know if you remember Peoples Hernandez. Jeffrey Wright. He was great in that movie.
American Fiction.
Yeah,
that
he's great in that.
Is near perfect, that film. He was in the Westworld TV series.
He's the lead in that movie.
Yes,
like he's one of the he's a supporting character.
Yeah.
So
And Westworld is an ensemble.
Yes.
But he carries the whole show.
He's one of the main people you constantly see. Yes. But yeah, he's Jeffrey Wright. It's Jeffrey Wright. He's not going to do anything horrendous. He's a great actor. So even in this too limited screen time, he makes the most of it.
He does.
And then the last person that stood out to me, Veronica Cartwright. She's back as Wendy Leake. She plays a patient of Carol, Nicole Kidman, who notices that her husband changed once again.
She's the
phenomenal
character
crier.
in the 3 movies, in the original, in the 78, and this one. There is one character that says, my husband has changed. My husband's not my husband, and she plays it this time. Mm-hmm. She's the one who does. She picks up that role this time, which is so cool to see her do it.
It's awesome that they brought her back too.
Yes,
like they brought her back to another invasion, like another.
And
version
she's crying.
Of
Here she's crying
again. Her eyes are all watery. The entire every scene she's basically in.
The scene of betrayal when she gets the betrayal is. Oh my God, I felt so bad for her. After everything she went through in 78. Damn it. She can't catch a break.
I mean, you literally see her screaming at the very end and being put in to a car or something. So, I mean, she's great too. Like I said.
Because she did the same thing in the 78 at the very end with Donald Sutherland. Oh my God, they did it to her again.
Yes. All right. So you said you wanted to touch on the 07. If we had to rank the best performances, is there something you wanted to add on the performance and cast of 07?
It's a thing that I noticed that drives me insane, and Nicole Kidman and Daniel Craig tend to do this a lot. And it's not so much in their performance, rather, and I mean it is in their performance, but I don't know why production companies do this. Mm-hmm. Okay? It was Daniel Craig. What was that? What was the name of the movie? The house, the Dream House. It was Daniel Craig.
I've never even seen that.
Yeah, I actually saw that in theaters too.
Okay.
It was Daniel Craig and Naomi Watts and Rachel Weisz. Okay. And Daniel Craig is playing an American, and Naomi Watts is playing an American, and Rachel Weisz is not. So you have 3 British actors, 2 of which are playing an American. And as a result of the third doing her natural accent, it might have been Naomi Watts, I don't remember, it was one of the 2 of them doing their natural accent. The other 2 crack constantly. Constantly. And this movie is loaded with it. I'm going to go down this list.
I think Naomi Watts is Australian, by the way. I don't think she's British.
No, okay.
Yes, she is. And so is Nicole Kidman. Nicole Kidman is also Australian.
Well, I have these notes. So this, for The Invasion, the director is Oliver Hirschweigel. Okay. He is a German director. He's shooting an American movie, which takes place in DC. But with the exception of the embassies, the whole movie was shot in Baltimore and reshoots in LA. Okay? So they're already faking the city. We have a German director making an American movie. Nicole Kidman is an Australian actress doing a deep Southern American accent. Daniel Craig is a British actor, an English actor, playing an Australian. Okay?
Interesting.
Jeremy Northam is a British actor playing an American. Roger Rees is an American actor doing a Russian accent. Celia Western is another American actress playing a German character. And it's an American movie. We have all of our leads are foreign-born actors with heavy accents, all doing Americans, except for Daniel Craig, who's doing Australian for some reason. And then you get a bunch of well-known American actors to do European accents.
They like the challenge, man.
But that's the problem. As a result, watch The Invasion again and just listen, and you will hear all of their accents crack. Fuck, she does her son's name is Oliver. You know how many times she calls him Ollie?
Yeah.
Ollie, where are you? She yells, Ollie, and then the third, Oliver. Because that's how she says, they say Ollie.
Yeah.
She does it constantly. And whenever she says Ollie in a sentence, the rest of the sentence goes full Australian. Whenever Nicole Kidman gets angry, you hear her Australian come out. Yeah. Daniel Craig suddenly becomes British in some scenes. The whole movie, if you pay attention to accents, they all lose it. And it's like, come on. This is the problem. This is why I say it's not their fault. Because when you have, it's just like, it's what do they call it? Code switching. When you're talking to someone and you kind of pick up their natural accent, like somebody who has a very very pronounced way of speaking. You know, you tend to fall in line with how they speak, and you get a lot of their tone, a lot of their pacing. You know, the two of us do this all the time. You know, the two of us pick up each other's pacing. We've known each other for so long. As soon as we start talking to each other, we start talking similarly. You know, I do it with another friend of mine. He's got a little bit of a stutter, and when I talk to him, I start like stuttering my words too, because it's just a thing. It just happens. So I hear this in them constantly. When you have a bunch of actors all struggling all trying to do a certain accent, and then there's one person who's talking the way that they normally speak, suddenly they revert to that. You know, and it's like, I don't understand why specifically American production companies do this. Why do you cast foreign actors, give them all American accents, and then stick someone with their natural accent in the scene with them? You know, especially because, again, she's doing American, this one's doing Australian. She's already Australian. Why don't you just let them have their accents and then see what great actors they really are? Because they don't have to change the way they speak or, you know, stutter over each other. You know, it's like when you hear someone pronouncing something a certain way, that's how you normally pronounce it, but you have to force yourself to do it differently. You know, there was I can't remember what it was. Me and Lynn were watching this yesterday.
All the time. I've watched movies where their accents slip through. So.
It does. There was another movie we watched fairly recently. I'm pretty sure it was Nicole Kidman as well, where it did the same thing, where it's like there's a bunch of people and she has a different accent, and you hear her crack constantly because it's she does it in Stepford Wives a lot, but it was another movie we watched recently, and everybody had their natural like English or British accents, and she was doing American. And
I can't even think of the movie.
It felt like halfway through the movie, she just kind of gave up. You know, and where it's very, where her Australian,
did. She was like, whatever.
Yeah, her Australian becomes lighter, but it's still there. But no, Dreamhouse, the whole goddamn movie is the three of them tripping over each other. Constant.
I gotta watch it. I've never seen that movie.
It's a terrible movie.
Okay, maybe not.
It's a bad movie. And I remember seeing it in theater, and I didn't like it then either. I watched it again a little while afterwards. I was like, Jesus Christ, not a single one of them can do this accent properly. But it's because of each other. Yeah. You know?
So to hone it back in, to go back around, best performance, Manny, in your opinion, out of all the films, of the four films, which one do you think has the best cast and performances?
I mean, it's 78.
56, 78, 93, 07, 2007.
78, I would say that has
78.
the strongest cast, that is the most consistent with the, you know, I think 78 has the best. I mean, this has a great cast.
Yeah.
But I think 78 just nailed it.
I'm right there with you. I think I kind of hinted at it that, you know, they're just better. They're fleshed out. The cast, you know, you got Donald Sutherland, you got Jeff Goldblum, Leonard Nimoy, Veronica Cartwright. Like, I mean, it's just 07 has a great cast too. I love Kevin McCarthy, but 78, similar to the script and plot, is just so well rounded. It just works. Everyone gets their moment to shine.
Oh yeah. And one more from 2007. Like I said, that the scenes they shot in DC were in I think it's called Embassy Row. I think it's called, where it's basically is a bunch of houses or buildings, whatever. I don't know. I've never seen it. I've never been there. But essentially, these are where the diplomats live or operate, you know. So every building, like there's a Chilean building, there's a British building, you know, and this is where all the diplomats are. And in DC, if you are in, so like say you're in the Chilean embassy, because this is a diplomatic building, technically the square footage of this building is Chilean land. That's not American anymore.
Oh, okay.
You know, so this is considered land.
Even though it's in the U.S., that little area
yes,
is,
but in this building
it's
itself
the countries.
Yes, this building itself is a Chilean
Interesting.
embassy.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's how it is. Like you ever see diplomats? You know why diplomats can't get arrested? Like they're in their car or something, because as long as they are in that car, that is a diplomatic car, they are given diplomatic immunity because that car is a piece of whatever country they are driving around in this.
Interesting. Did not know that.
That's how diplomats work.
Oh, cool.
They come here, they're not subject to our laws, but they can get the fuck out, you know?
Like they basically can't be arrested for anything crazy, or they can't, because they're technically, if they do something psycho.
There are certain rules. I'm not going to get into all. There are rules of that, but that's how those buildings work, and there's a whole row of them. That is where they shot in D.C. So that's another thing. With all of these international actors, they're shooting inside international buildings, and everyone in those buildings are speaking the natural languages of their countries as well. So that's another thing where they're hearing multiple accents around them at all times.
So one thing you learn from this episode, Manny wants you actors to straighten out your accents.
I don't want the actors to straighten the actors. I want the production to stop fucking with them and let them perform.
Yeah.
Let them do what they do.
So we both agree.
Stop tripping them up, assholes. Warner Brothers, those motherfuckers.
So we both agree 78 has the best cast and performances.
Yeah.
78.
Yeah.
All right.
Look, I can deal with a body being moved. I can even deal with a body getting up and leaving. But when you start talking about his other body, her other body, people being duplicated, will you listen to how that sounds?
Don't you think we know how insane this sounds? But what do you think we're doing? You think we're making it up?
What are you having trouble accepting? Do you believe that my body looked like me? Do you believe that her body looked like her?
You think we've all gone crazy?
So as usual, Manny and I, we go on and on. We go in depth in all these movies when we cover them. Deep. No pod people here. Lots of emotion. So
Pete
because
Steele
of that,
deep.
I don't think I can even get as deep as Pete Steele.
9.5 inches deep.
Whoa. But yes.
Hitting kidneys.
Yeah. That's what you get, see, on the outro here. But since we go that deep as Peter Steele, we're going to be separating this episode into 2 parts.
Talk about body horror.
Yes, there you go. So that concludes part 1 of our Invasion of the Body Snatchers Battle Royal. Stay tuned for part 2 coming at you very soon. As always, be sure to subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Blue Sky, all that good stuff at Haunted Hangover. Head over to the Haunted Hangover Patreon page where you can gain bonus content every month. I try to release an episode, and it's a good way to support us if that's something you would like to do.
And wherever you're listening to us, be sure to rate and review us and tell us whatever you want to tell us. We're open. We're very, very fluid. Very fluid.
And as always, remember, the best cure for a hangover is
more booze.
Catch you guys later.